again. Welcome back. Now, today we are going to read from chapter 7 of Badger the Mystical Mutt. I can't wait to see what happens in the crystal cave. But first of all, let's have a clue about the chapter from the famous red magic bag. Okay, thank you. Let me see. Nothing in it. There we are. Nothing in the bag. Chapter 7. There we are. Okay, fold it up. Marvellous. Thank you, Badger. Thank you. Right. Are we ready? Real crystal, a sparkly crystal. Wow, look at that. Isn't that lovely? Now, here we go. Chapter 7. Baby Unicorn stopped and nodded to Badger, who stepped forward and nodded respectfully back. My friend Hamish here is in a spot of bother. Can you help us, please? Asked Badger, hopefully. Baby Unicorn bowed his head. Hamish watched in wonder. The unicorn pointed his horn towards the back of the cave, where the rock was unusually flat and smooth. Right, said Badger to Hamish. Are you sitting comfortably? Watch this. A blast of light exploded from Baby Unicorn's horn, and little by little the light took shape on the cave wall. There, lit up in front of them, was an image of a puppy behind metal bars in a pen. Many big folk passed backwards and forwards, but didn't stop to look in. Then 2 of them stopped and pointed. The puppy ran up to the bars and barked excitedly. The big folk chatted with each other and disappeared. Oh, they look a bit like my big folk, said Hamish excitedly. Shh, said Badger. Concentrate, Hamish. Hamish fixed his gaze on the cave wall. Outside the pen, the big folk returned with the dog catcher. The puppy's ears pinned back, his tail stopped wagging, and he stepped away from the bars. 2 huge gloved hands curled around the metal bars, and the puppy cowered in the corner. The dog catcher unlocked the cage and lifted the puppy into the arms of the waiting big folk. He's been saved, said Hamish. There was a crackle on the screen, and now the puppy was alone in a lane, not unlike the lane at the bottom of Hamish's garden. And his big folk were nowhere to be seen. The dog was now being chased by the dog catcher. There was another crackle on the screen, and there was a picture of Top Dog. Oh, said Hamish, surprised. It's Top Dog. Does Baby Unicorn know him? Baby Unicorn knows everyone and everything. Right, okay. Hamish's tail started to wag. On the wall they saw Top Dog shivering in a cardboard box, whining for some food and still on the run from the dog catcher. Oh, he looks so sad and lonely. Why is he living in a box? Why has he got no food? Where are his big folk? Asked Hamish. don't think he's got any big folk, Hamish. But who gives him his dinner? Asked Hamish. No one, replied Badger, then added, maybe that's another reason why Top Dog wants to stop you from entering Pet Idol. He sees you going home for dinner every night, going for walks with your big folk, and having a warm bed and toys. Perhaps he's chasing you because he's afraid of being chased by the dog catcher. He looks so thin, said Hamish quietly. There was another crackle on the screen. There, in front of him, was Hamish on a stage with lots of big folk cheering. Who's that? He asked. His ears are as long as mine. That's because it is you, Hamish, said Badger. But I don't understand. If I'm here, how can I be there? And if I'm supposed to be there, how am I here? And this is there. So how can I possibly be here at all? Hamish furrowed his brow. Sometimes, said Badger, even more gently, we are lucky enough to get a glimpse of how things might be. Not just today, but tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day, and then the next day too. Oh, said Hamish in a very small voice. It looks like you're going to win that show, Hamish. Let's see what else we can see. They peered back into the cave and saw Hamish being presented with his prize at the famous Pet Idol show. A year's supply of crunchy munchy chewy chops and a personalised dinner bowl for you, beamed the big folk presenter. But why have I won? I didn't even enter it. Between my big folk talking about it and Top Dog chasing me because of it, I'm fed up with the whole thing. It's more of a big folk competition, Hamish. The big folk like to compete. And if they can't do it themselves, then they use us. Well, you. Maybe those ears which trip you up all the time are not just any ears. Are my ears magical too? Asked Hamish, wide-eyed. Watch, said Badger, smiling. The picture went blank. Baby Unicorn turned around to face them, his horn still aglow. What happens next? Asked Hamish, aware of another large rumble coming from his tummy. I feel really hungry after seeing those crunchy munchy chewy chops. It must be dinner time. Don't worry, Hamish. When we get back, dinner time will still be some time off. Hamish looked puzzled. But my tummy thinks it should be now. Just then, another rumbling hum startled them from outside the cave. Patience, Hamish. Sounds like the Whim Whim has arrived to take us home, so it won't be long, said Badger comfortingly. But first, there's one more thing Baby Unicorn might be able to help us with. Sparkles of light appeared around Badger's nose as he looked knowingly at the unicorn's horn. Close your eyes, Hamish, said Baby Unicorn as he directed his glowing horn towards the little spaniel's spiky tufts. Hamish felt a ticklish sensation on top of his head. When he opened his eyes, he knew at once that his slapdash haircut had been restored to its former glory. Thank you so much, said Hamish. Baby Unicorn turned and led them out of the cave where the Whim Whim was cranking and panting. Badger bowed politely to Baby Unicorn, grabbed Hamish's paw, and they stepped outside and into the wim-wim. Right, Hamish, here we go. Close your eyes and repeat after me. Open our hearts with our eyes closed tight. Seconds later, Badger said softly, It's okay, Hamish. We're back in plenty of time for dinner. You can open your eyes now. Hamish opened his eyes, and there they were, back at the sundial near the crack in the fence at the bottom of Badger's garden. Awesome, said Hamish. What just happened? We've been on a magical adventure, said Badger, and now I need some toast. Before Badger turned to trot indoors, he saw Hamish perch up on his hind legs to look once more at the sundial. He looked round bewildered. But the shadow hasn't moved! Badger looked back at Hamish and winked. Hamish tilted his head and murmured to himself, Wow, I've been magical. He squeezed through the crack in the fence, sniffed the air with fresh confidence, then ventured into the lane and headed homewards for dinner. But it wasn't long before Top Dog and his gang caught sight of Hamish and fell into step behind him. And that is the end of chapter 7. Wow, Badger, that was fantastic. I would love to go into the Crystal Cave. Well, join us soon for chapter 8. See you soon. I'll have some toast. Badger, there's a hole in the toast. I won't even ask. See you soon, Badger.